Welcome back to another Profit Target interview. I am joined today by our professional trader, Melodee, who has very recently hit her 10% profit target on the $15,000 account. So Melodee, congratulations, first of all, for reaching your first 10% profit target with us. Great achievement. Why don't you start, Melodee, by just introducing yourself, letting the viewers know maybe how long you've been trading for, and a little bit about how you got started in trading to begin with.
Certainly. Well, my name's Melodee. All my trading friends call me Pippy.
Okay.
I started learning to trade about 5 years ago, using some proprietary indicators, hired a company to train me, and had some good initial success, but basically learned the basics with them. I learned the importance of proper risk management, following my rules, backtesting, all that good stuff. It took me a little while to find financial success with it. However, trading has been my primary source of income now for about 2.5 years. And initially with them, I found some success early on. I became a coach with them for about a year. I really liked that, helping other people share my passion for trading with them. But I did not become a trader to have a full-time job. So I resigned my position as a coach, but still have a very good relationship with that company, and still trade their funded account as well. So
fantastic. That's great to hear. You know, I think there's lots of different things that we can kind of go into and unpick from your previous experience, which is, I think, very in depth for someone. You know, 5 years is not, a massive amount in terms of trading terms. So, I think you've got quite a rich experience in a relatively, short space of time there, which I think is fantastic. So, you mentioned about backtesting. What do what do you think the benefits are to backtesting? Why did you backtest? Why do you backtest now? Maybe what do you think the main benefits that people can receive from backtesting?
Well, it teaches you to follow rules, which is important, but it's also shows you your mathematical advantage, how much you should be going for based on your rules and your back testing, and how much you should be risking, and what your stop loss should be. All of those variables can come from back testing, whether your strategy is valid or not, whether it's valid in today's market, whether it was valid in last year's market. And continually back testing, or even forward testing, but back testing, like I like to back test the whole week. On Saturday morning, I'll back test my week, see what I missed, see if my entries were proper. It teaches you that muscle memory, almost like practicing free throws for basketball. If I tell you I want to learn how to throw a free throw, and but I'm only going to practice during the game, how long is it going to take me to be good at throwing free throws? Forever. But if I go out in my driveway and I throw 100 free throws a day, I'm going to get better, and I'm going to get better faster. And it's the same with back testing, seeing that repeated over and over and over, and seeing your rules met, seeing where your entry is, and seeing how it turned out, and collecting that data. It's hugely valuable. So
100%. No, I definitely agree with you. We definitely agree with you here at Audacity Capital at 100%. I think it's a really interesting perspective and an analogy that you make with the basketball reference there. I think a lot of people, especially within this industry and especially within trading, they just want to go straight into hitting that game-winning free throw shot or whatever it may be, and they just jump straight in expecting to be able to make money. I think within this industry and within trading, I think there are so many people that think that they can, who have only just started, that think that they can just jump right in and make money. Whereas, in any other profession or in any other industry, it takes, hard work, training, all the education that you need to be able to get from point A to point B, where you're able to make those consistent profits. And I think backtesting is a really important segment and part of that, because not only does it give you all of that information, like you mentioned, it also gives you the confidence as well, you know, when you're in the market and when you're in those positions, to be able to really, oh, okay, you know, this is a normal scenario because I've done the work and
Right.
I've done the back testing. You know, you don't, you know, panic when, you know, you get a certain string or a certain number of losses, because you know that that number of losses is normal because you've done the work and you've done the back testing. So yeah, I think that's certainly a really, you know, important point. So you know, I want to progress on, you know, and talk to a little bit more about you know, what you're up to at the moment. You know, you mentioned that you're a professional trader. You're making your full-time income from trading the financial markets, which I think is fantastic. That's a position that, you know, all of us as traders, you know, are looking to strive and work towards. I think the majority of people that get into this industry anyway. Could you tell me a little bit about your routine? You know, what is it that the you know, the hours, the work, what is it that you're putting in at the moment as a full-time professional trader who's making their full-time income?
Well, I like to trade in the morning. I'm in Central Standard Time here in the
Yeah,
US, so I like to trade before 7:30 because that's normally when the news hits, right? The
yeah,
red folder news, and I like to get it done before then. So I'm usually trading between 4:30 and 7:30 Central Standard Time.
hmm,
And that's it for the day. I have rules about how much I'm allowed to win and how much
hmm,
I'm allowed to lose. And I think that's hugely important. If you know what your mathematical advantage is and you've lost more than you normally would, then there's something going on with you. There's something going on with the market, and you
hmm,
just need to wait and
yeah,
trade another day, live to trade another day,
yeah,
right? Same with winning and greed, right? So if I win 3 trades or I lose 2 in a row, I'm done for the
yeah,
day, no matter what time it is. So because it's important to have rules on both sides for me, because I know what my mathematical advantage is, and I got to stay within that to see
100%.
success. So so that's my trading schedule. I usually don't trade on Friday because who doesn't
Hmm.
like a 3-day weekend? And I find that the markets behave a little bit differently on Fridays. So
Definitely agree with you. Yeah.
yeah, so Monday through Thursday, you know, 1 to 3 hours in the morning is what I trade.
Mhm.
So
Fantastic. And what is it specifically that you're trading? Obviously, with the funded account with us, you're trading FX and currencies. Is that primarily what you focus
yeah,
on? Where does
I
your
trade.
attention lie?
I only trade 2 pairs. I trade the euro versus the US dollar and the pound versus the US
Mhm.
dollar. That's it. That's all I need. So why complicate things and look at 100 different charts when
Yeah,
all I really need is 2? I also trade the Dow, the US 30 index, but that's not with Audacity. It's not
yeah,
on your trading list, and that's fine. So those are the 3 instruments that I trade. So
got you. Got you. Fantastic. And what do you think the benefit of that is? You know, some people will say, oh, you know, there's all these different opportunities in all of these different markets. Well, what do you say the benefit is from focusing your attention to one or two currency pairs?
I don't get sidetracked and confused. I can watch those 2 pairs extremely closely and carefully and wait for my rules to be set up and execute properly. So, and there's plenty of trading opportunities with my strategy on just 1 pair, let alone
Yeah.
2. So I'm it allows me to concentrate and focus and get the pips I need. So
Fantastic. And are you looking at, you know, what time frames are you traditionally looking at? You know, you mentioned lots of different opportunities. Are you more focused and more looking at, you know, short term, you know,
yeah.
day trading rather than, you know, looking to hold overnight or, you know, hold for a few days?
Right. So I'm trading off a 1-minute chart. I do use
Okay.
some indicators with that. And this is my back tested strategy. And with a minimum 1-to-1 ratio,
Mhm.
preferably closer to 1-to-3 is
Yep.
what I'm always going for, because that makes a huge difference. You know, if you're getting 1-to-3, you only have to be right, you know, 25% of the time to break even. So,
Of course.
but so um so yeah, short-term charts, I'm in and out of my trades normally in 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes they'll
Okay.
stretch on for an hour or so, but Those are usually the fun ones though, where you get to move your stop into profit, which I try to do. It's a part of my strategy, move my stop into profit after it reaches 1-to-1.
Okay.
And sometimes I'll take a partial profit at that time or not, depending on what the indicators and my analysis has told me might happen. And then let it ride risk-free. Who doesn't love a risk-free trade? Because those can end up being the ones that go 1 to 10. I mean, 1 to 10, 1 to 12, 1 to 15, and that just makes your whole day, week, month, sometimes year. So because
100%.
I use a fairly small stop loss, and so makes a big difference when you can let those ride and get some profits beyond that 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, etc.
100%. Yeah, no, I think that's something that's really, really important. And I think it's something that people that are just starting out or beginners within the trading space don't focus on enough. Risk to reward ratio, making sure that you're not taking money off the table, too early. It can always be very, very tempting when you see dollar or pound signs, appearing within your account to kind of take that quick money and take that and bank it into your account. But in the long run, it's going to be really, really kind of penal. Penal. I think a stat that I always find really interesting, and something I always tell people that are just starting out in the industry is, if you can maintain an average of a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, you only need to be right 27% of the time to be able to be a break-even trader. That puts you in such a hugely a massively advantageous position than someone who is has a much lower risk to reward ratio. So I think that's a really, really important thing for people that are first starting out to be focusing on. And it's something that's really, really common as well, that we have with people that sit in these interviews and we speak to them about their profits and how they were able to achieve success. All of them place a really strong focus on risk to reward ratio. So obviously that's no different with yourself. I'd like to touch a little bit upon the differences between your learning journey and then moving into becoming a full-time professional trader. What would you say the key learning, things that you learned throughout the process that was the difference between when you were beginning and maybe when you were break even, or you were struggling to find consistent profitability, and when you really kicked on and you got to that position where you were able to produce consistent profits? What would you say what were the changes or the learning curves that you went through that pushed you through that barrier?
As a beginner trader, using those proprietary indicators I used in the beginning, which I don't use anymore, I had a back-tested trade plan that I used. However, my risk to reward ratio was more like 3 to 1 rather than 1 to 3.
Okay.
So if I was risking 9 pips, I was going for 3.
Okay.
So, and I had a, huge, great win ratio, 80-85%.
Yeah.
So what? Because if you get a few losses in a row that way, you eat up a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks worth of profit. And so a big shift for me was switching to minimum 1 to 1, preferably like we talked about, 1 to 3.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. And so reworking my strategy, finding new indicators that I to use, learning a little bit more about market analysis, not being afraid to lose, and therefore don't move your stop loss farther away, people. It's okay to lose. It's part of winning. So that was the big shift for me. And once I discovered that and started sharing it with some other people and grew a community around that, we have a Telegram trade ideas channel where we really encourage people on the risk to reward and proper risk management as well. Because even if you're winning at 1 to 3, okay, and that's awesome. If you're over leveraging your account and say you're winning half the time, which is profitable at 1 to 3, and you are risking too much, you can't absorb those losses.
Definitely.
So at Simple Trading Plus, not only do we really encourage the good risk to reward ratio, we also encourage proper risk management. Risk 1/3%, 0.5%, something that your win ratio can absorb and still allow you to trade with a company like Audacity and not hit their drawdown limits. And for yourself too, if you're trading your own money or even in demo, practice how you're going to play, right? We don't want to
100%.
risk 1, 2, 3, 4% and then have 3 losses in a row and you've blown your prop firm account with Audacity or your own account. You just hurt yourself so bad.
Yeah.
So it's been really fun working with people, sharing trade ideas with them and seeing them succeed by following proper risk management and risk to reward. So it's been awesome. So
I think, you know, again, along the lines of the kind of community that you've managed to build yourselves with these kind of principles and guidelines, I think, you know, one of the biggest benefits of community is accountability. You know, it's something that within trading, it's something that is probably, I would say, is the most challenging thing to overcome, is making sure that you're accountable for the things that you're doing, the decisions that you're making, following and sticking to your trading plan. And if you can do things, surrounding yourself by other people, being part of a community that is going to assist you to be accountable in the things that you're doing, then that is only going to have positive repercussions for your trading results, whether that's being part of, you know, a community that you've built yourself or being part of a prop firm that holds you accountable for certain rules that you need to follow. All of these things are going to have positive impacts and positive effects on your trading results, you know, as a beginner trader, you know, an intermediate trader and a professional trader as well. So I think that's, you know, a really, really important point as well for people to be able to take from that as well. Okay, fantastic. So Melodee, you know, I'd like to talk, you know, a little bit about your lifestyle at the moment. You know, professional trader, you're making your full-time income from trading the financial markets. You know, what has that, you know, enabled you to do? You've obviously have experience working with prop firms, so working with us isn't the first time that you've been working with a prop firm. What has it enabled you to achieve and do that you really wanted to within, you know, your life, I suppose?
You know, honestly, the main thing is one of the reasons I got into trading is I was looking for something I could do from home because I was widowed and I had a small child. He was quite young, and he's 9 now. So and what it's allowed me to do is raise him the way I want to raise him and be there for him. And that has been the biggest benefit for our family. Not only can I provide a good living for our family and a nice lifestyle, you know, we get to go on vacations and go to the schools we want and live in a house that we want and all of that, of course. But it's the main thing is me being able to be here. And as far as my son's concerned, I don't have a job. I'm here for him.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm usually done trading by the time he wakes up.
Yeah.
But another side benefit of it is he's 9 and he has a demo account. And I've taught him a basic trade strategy off a 1 day chart.
Wow.
And this year he's grown his account 9%.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So he not only am I going to benefit from this and he's benefiting it through me now.
Yeah.
He will be able to start trading. I'll let him start a little $500 account, maybe when it's 12. Nice. And let him earn his own college money. How's that?
Yeah, fantastic. That sounds absolutely incredible. You know, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, like, wow, you know, imagine if I'd had the exposure or the head start to be able to start on my trading journey at that kind of an age, and, you know, have the, you know, the lessons and the things that you've learned along your way passed on to me at such a young age. I think that's, you know, something that's extremely beneficial, and, you know, hopefully, you know, Audacity Capital and, you know, and us, and we can kind of continue to be a part of the success that you're achieving with your own trading results. So I think that's fantastic. I think that's really, really, really good.
Yeah, maybe you'll be interviewing him someday. So
that would be quite something, wouldn't it? That would be brilliant. That would be fantastic. That's
Yeah.
brilliant. So, before we finish, you just would like to kind of touch, get your feedback, on your thoughts about the program. Obviously, this isn't your first experience with a proprietary trading firm. So what are your thoughts and feelings on the funded trader program thus far?
So I actually tried the funded trader program with Audacity a few years ago when I was not yet successful, and I failed miserably.
Okay.
And it was so nice though, even at that time, I didn't have to be accountable for my losses, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, I have enough self blame and self realization
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't want to just keep trying until I
Yeah.
had a plan that would work better. And so I actually kind of forgot about Audacity, and then remembered just a few months ago, and signed back up. It was the same price, it was the same rules, nothing had
Yeah.
changed. And so I signed up and was able to meet that 10% goal within a couple of months. And I really appreciate Audacity for their simple rules. You don't have a bunch of crazy rules like a lot of prop firms have. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
Don't draw down your account more than 5% a day or 10% drawdown. Okay, yeah, I can do that. Make 10% and we'll split it with you. Okay, it's very simple. I like that the lot size is a reasonable lot size.
Mm-hmm.
Got to make 300 pips. That's it.
Yeah.
So make 300 pips, get a split. It's just simple, and I really appreciate that. I also like that you guys have a affiliate program. So because in my community, I like to share what works with people, and
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
why not benefit from that as well?
100%.
The customer service I've received from Audacity has been great. When I've had a question, or like when I first got my account, they accidentally gave me two, and so I was
Wow.
like, which one do I use? I mean, I had simple questions like that, but they got back to me you guys get back to me very quickly, any questions I've had. And when I got my 10% target, got an email instantly saying, congratulations, don't trade anymore right now. I mean, I suppose I could have, but you advised me not to. I had my split the next day and
Brilliant.
in my account, and I got my account double the next day. So it was very quick, very simple, and excellent customer service. So I have nothing negative to say about Audacity. I'm super impressed. So
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, that's fantastic to hear. We're very happy that you're pleased with the funding program that you've been a part of so far, and we hope that the success that you've achieved with making your first 10% target can continue on. I have no doubt that it will be after the conversations that you and I have had together. So one last thing, and this is something that I like to ask, all traders that we have on this particular segment of our YouTube channel, and that is, if you could give one piece of advice, just one piece of advice to a trader that maybe is struggling or is going through a run of losses, what would that one piece of advice be?
my piece of advice is that it's not magic. Trading is not magic, it's work. And you have to do the work to find your mathematical advantage before you start throwing real money at it. Trade in demo as long as you need to, but trade as if it's your real money. Trade using the rules that you found through backtesting that are your mathematical advantage. Practice those free throws, right? Hundreds and hundreds of free throws, right? That is, and as we've already talked about, consistency in your risk management and in your risk to reward ratio is going to make a huge difference. Emotions are a huge part of trading. The fear of missing out, greed, lots of things, right? Revenge trading, all of those things. You have to be honest with yourself and get on top of your emotions. And there's no point in doing all of that backtesting that you need to do to find your mathematical advantage if you're not actually going to follow those rules when you get in the game, when you get in the live market. So.
100%. Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, there you go. You heard it from Melodee first. You've traders, you've got to go out, you've just got to go out there and do the work. You've got to put the work in, you've got to put the effort in, and then the results will certainly come over time. So fantastic piece of advice there, Melodee, and I definitely agree with everything that you've said. So that brings our interview to a close. I'd like to really thank you for giving up your time to speak to us today. We very much appreciate it. And again, we'd like to congratulate you on reaching that first 10% target. Hopefully it won't be too long now until we can invite you back in, and maybe we can have another chat about you when you reach the next stage, which would be the 60K account size. So yeah, congratulations again, Melodee, and thank you again for the time to speak to us today.
It was a pleasure meeting with you today, and I really appreciate the opportunity that you have provided me.
Brilliant.
You have a good day.
Thanks, Melodee. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.